What's happening, everybody on YouTube on my channel, and happy holidays to all of my YouTube subscribers of 10 years and stuff. So today I have a vlog about a certain YouTuber who recently has been deleted from YouTube, and you probably should know who this one is based on the video title. So here I am, everybody, Anthony on Power Rangers. You know the rest, but basically making fun of, low tier cancellation. So I have a video talking about LowTierGod because basically within the last week around the holiday season, what a blessed to all of us, blessed for all of us for this holiday season. That for those who don't know about LowTierGod was a YouTuber who had been known for being a very villainous, toxic, narcissistic YouTube channel. Within the last decade, he's been on the platform same time as me. But I'm not as successful or popular as LowTierGod, but I did watch a handful of some of his videos within the last 2 years, following while I'm also doing videos on, while I did a handful of videos on Chris Chan, but now I have another locale I like to document and talk about in some videos. And along with me, I do have a piece of paper that my brother had printed out to give me for some notes for the video. And I have the notes right here to describe what kind of person LowTierGod is, because there's a few of these key interesting facts about LowTierGod that I'd like to do a video on and give my overall feels about this. Now, LowTierGod. Now, LowTierGod, also known as Dale Wilson, or better known as, or sometimes known as Delowin Sparrow, I think. He goes by many names, and he is mostly notorious for being that YouTuber who is, as someone who is also a Black and African American person on YouTube myself, watching this guy, he is at times entertaining, but at times absolute cringe. And I have a lot of stuff. I do have, of the 20, things about LowTierGod that based on this list that I want to share to you about the guy. If you're not aware of him, he was very, he was a very toxic, narcissistic, self-entitled YouTuber, but yet he's one of the most successful YouTubers out of all of us in the Black African American community. And he is one of the, if you've been watching all of his streams and other types of stuff on his channel before it was deleted, he would go ahead and make video, he would go ahead and find people like me who has a YouTube video on him, talking a lot of smack about him online. And then, like, if you make a video about him, he'll give you a false copyright claim, or a copyright strike. And then some features from your channel, like having longer upload videos, will be deleted, will be removed. And if you get 2 more copyright strikes about him and stuff, like your channel is gone. But I'm like, wow, that is really vile and cruel of LTG to do. I mean, it's no worse than when I had dealt with a hand on that one YouTuber back when I was starting out, who was also a locale, but he ain't worth my time. And I had to think back, very honest and clear about the type of person he is. But among the 20 things based on this list, I'm going to talk about some of the things that really touched me about him, because there is a lot of it's just that energy from this guy. Because again, I've watched his videos where he always said the N word, goes, and knowing in my 10 years I've been doing this YouTube channel on, content about Power Rangers, Super Sentai, even though LTG has done some gameplay streams of Battle for the Grid, but don't you wait until when I play But for the fighting games, I play fighting games, but I don't go around rage quitting and stuff all the time, getting my PlayStation or so controller, because I have a handful of fighting games on my PlayStation and Xbox systems, like Street Fighter and Soul Calibur on those platforms. Give me a moment. And so, when you think about LowTierGod, every time he plays a fighting game, because according to the list, when it comes to always having constant amount of rage quits in fighting games. So that's the first thing I want to pick for my video talking about that. Now, here's the thing. Rage quitting on fighting games is really immature and childish for a guy who is almost, for let alone a black dude who is almost 40 years old. I mean, let that sink in. And knowing I'm 30 years old, I don't go around rage quitting on a fighting game online. I've never done it in my life. And of course, I have never done video game live streams, even though I don't even know how to do that personally. But going around playing, you know, all that constant button mashing when you're trying to beat somebody online in the game, mainly Street Fighter. You probably already know about LTG's constant rage quits. If you watched all his videos of him rage quitting playing Street Fighter 5, and even he's done this with like Mortal Kombat, Soul Calibur, Tekken, the whole 9 yards. And every time he does all that constant button mashing, and then he goes around insulting other players that he does not know of by their ethnicities or gender or sexual orientation online on the game on like PlayStation Network. He used to play Xbox, but you know, again, he got banned from Xbox. But it says so on the list that LTG got banned from Xbox due to using a lot of exploitates by switching user tags, using user tags, but knowing the fact LTG was notorious for that. But you know, LowTierGod, he really doesn't know when to stop this behavior. This kind of behavior is intolerable, and I think that, you know, I have never seen a black dude on YouTube that would make videos of him playing video games and then go around talking a lot of junk to people. I wanted to say the S word, but I don't know how people feel about that. There's a lot of stuff I don't like about that guy either. Even though before I made this video, it took me 2 years to make a video on this guy like I did Chris Chan. But LowTierGod, he is, you know, what's so funny is that he likes to go around using a lot of exploitive material, dialogue, calling people out of their ethnicities, race, and talking about people's livelihoods, blackmailing, and talking about all the times people been doxing him when knowing he was actually doxing people, okay? He's the one trolling people. And what he's doing is not right. And also, I have this sense of, you know, that vibe of narcissism when, you know, watching videos out of this guy. And I honestly feel as though that kind of behavior is very unwelcoming and uninviting. When you have people online to fight you in your streams on the game, like, that is just like, how do we put this? Why would you want to do that every time and every day? I mean, save yourself the stress, man, if you can. But realizing why you're going to waste your time still messing with people you don't know personally online. And then you go around saying some homophobic stuff, racist stuff. But of course, you know, one of the biggest things according to my list here, I'm trying to go through the list. Well, you should know that recently, as of, you know, this week in December of 2022, before the Christmas holiday, LowTierGod recently got banned from YouTube, but he had it coming due to the constant amount of calling people out the constant N-word and other racial slurs, death threats, doxes, and threats of violence, and the rest being very unimaginable. Now, you know, when it comes to him throwing out the homophobic and racial slurs, that stuff is not tolerable, especially if you're streaming on YouTube and Twitch. It's not right. I know anyone can do that, but this is one of the reasons why I feel as though LowTierGod is the dark side Phil and Wings of Redemption of the gaming community on YouTube. Now, I know as much as I don't do video games on this channel, and while I did use some video game footage content in my you-know-what, but, you know, LowTierGod, I think he's up there with those like Dark Side DSP and Wings of Redemption. I do recall Dark Side Phil and Wings of Redemption. So, you know, but when I think about every time I watch watch LowTierGod do a stream video, whether if he's doing a stream about Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat or Tekken, any other fighting game, but it's always with Street Fighter 5. He's always calling somebody the N-word or something Spanish to insult the Latinx, Hispanic people out there, and then even calling out probably some LGBT players that are playing Street Fighter as well or whatever. or calling someone that he doesn't know personally outside of their gamer tags on PlayStation, and even with the Nintendo Switch playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. What I also get is that every time when LowTierGod, when he's playing against somebody online, what also says here on the list, every time when you beat him in a game, he says, "You fucking suck. Like, you fucking suck. Go jump off. Go kill yourself. You're a worthless piece of trash," and all that online. But after, when someone beats him in the game, he always presses the home button on, like, whoops, I didn't mean to turn on my PlayStation 4. I'm just making a demonstration. Every time he always pressing these buttons on the like on the PlayStation 4 when he was doing it, but now he moved up to the PS5. I don't care about having a PlayStation 5. I mean, I'm eventually going to get me a PS5, but right now there's not much of PS5 available I can get in store personally and online right now. But I'm just saying, like, every time he uses the, like back when he was playing Street Fighter 5 on PS4, he would just like do all this and then like pressing the home button because he could not accept defeat. And I would laugh at him for that because he would always, every time someone beats him in the game, he calls anybody, or if I was beating him in a game of Street Fighter, especially with Street Fighter 6 coming up, because I am aware of that. And he would call me a sorry, worthless N-word, the F word that refers to a homosexual guy, or, get that ass, you're a sorry, worthless ass piece of shit. Get that ass banned. You ain't going nowhere in hell going fucking beat me in a fucking fighting game. Go off. And that's exactly what he would always say, And plus, another thing that I don't like about this dude is his morality when he does his streams of video games, especially fighting games. His morality of, like, playing games is off. Like, he's not being fair with other players. That's another thing that caught my attention based on my list again. Because every time in the fighting game community, he is, he acts like he is, high almighty and all of that, when really he ain't shit, And then what I also don't like about this dude is his godlike complexion. He has this superiority. This is what most typical narcissists have. They act like they are so high above us and high almighty, and also have all this muscle and all of that. And because, he may be some alpha male, but this is one of the reasons why his attitude fucking sucks, and it's fucking cringy when I have to deal with this guy. Or any of us. Now, I have never fought LowTierGod on a fighting game personally. He can, if he ever does get his YouTube channel, and I swear to God, if anything happens to this video or this channel, you're probably gonna know what happened at the time of this recording. If LTG ever gets his channel reinstated and sees this video and then calls me out saying, "Oh, this Power Ranger looking mother effing N-word," and as a black dude, I don't like going around saying the N-word. I refuse. That's why if you watch every single video I've done on this channel as a Power Rangers YouTube channel, I don't go around, and as someone of the Black/African American community, I would go around using the N-word just because, or especially now when putting down other black people, that's, what makes him any better? Because he goes around throwing that word around like he's cool with it. And this is why people don't like him. And I think it's best we keep his ass off the internet. Keep his ass off YouTube. Keep his ass off anywhere he's in. He can stay on Twitter and Facebook or wherever he's on, Instagram. I don't think we want LTG back on YouTube. Or if he ever does come back with like a new channel under a new name, not LowTierGod, but like LowTierGod Evolved or something, or LowTierGod the next, and just imagine if he came back, with a new channel name. Or like LowTierGod 2 or LowTierGod X or whatever, or LowTierGod Z, kind of like a, reference to, Dragon Ball Z with Dragon Ball with the Dragon Ball Z thing. Okay. This dude has really, this is, LowTierGod has been a very, interesting character in the YouTube community and the fighting game community. I don't want him on this platform anymore. I hope I have my vote to keep him off YouTube, because, watching him, bully other people who are just making fun of him, man, Like, let people have their cake and eat it too when they watch your streams and then they make fun of them. They just want to celebrate your idiocy by just acting, you just acting like a complete fool of yourself for a 40-year-old black dude. And I'm 10 years younger than you, dude. And if you see this video, you make fun of me on YouTube like you do everybody else, or you give me a copyright strike, LowTierGod gives people of the African-American black community who also plays video games and stuff a really bad name. And I don't like it. It's no worse than, again, with Chris Chan. How Chris Chan did stuff to make people like me with autism have a bad name, given the stuff he's done. And look where Chris Chan is now. But I'm talking about LowTierGod, Dale Wilson or whatever he is. I really don't like it with this guy. The God complex stuff has got to stop. He's not Hercules. He's not some Superman. He's not Zeus. He's not anything. He's just a guy, just like, or a gal, just like the rest of us, guy or gal, with problems, with issues, okay? And I don't know what kind of complex issues he got. He needs to get some therapy. He needs to get some help. This has got to stop. This is going far too long. And I know I came too late into the game of LowTierGod video stuff about, him on YouTube. But the shit has got to stop. You're not a god. Even if that's what's part of your username when you're synonymous on YouTube in the fighting game community. But you're nothing. Even hell, as a Power Ranger YouTuber like me, I ain't nothing. I just have that username just because, I'm passionate what I'm into, but I don't go around rage quitting about, people whooping my ass in a fucking fighting game like Soul Calibur or Tekken, okay? Or even recently with me now just trying to get into Street Fighter, even though in the beginning I have never personally been a Street Fighter fan, but I have played only now 2 Street Fighters, 4 and 5, with Street Fighter 4 on my Xbox, and for backwards compatibility, and Street Fighter 5 on PS4. Street Fighter 6 is coming out in the next 3 months at the time of this video is recording. I swear to God, if LowTierGod does come back to YouTube, now I want to see how it feels. I even dare to even pay to beat him in a game of Street Fighter, because everybody should know that on PlayStation, my PSN is PR Galaxy 2099. Even though I'm trying to do some video game stuff on this channel too, but not much on streaming, but live streaming. But I don't even know how to stream, so I have to get some tips on doing that. The stuff that he's been doing, man. If I beat him when Street Fighter 6 comes out, but of course I have to pay to beat him in one of his streams. And if I fight this guy on Street Fighter, he will call me the N-word, calling you low-life piece of crap, N-word Power Ranger wannabe, and you ain't shit, motherfucking Power Ranger motherfucker. Get the fuck out of here. Get that ass banned. You're not playing me ever again. That sort of, I'm trying to do my LowTierGod impression of all times. I always do that. Kristen Weston Chandler on the original creative sound of you, and or any other famous locale on YouTube that I'm trying to do, famous impressions. I'm trying to think of another one. Speaking of the SGC, when being in the fighting game, aside from him being the biggest villain of the SGC community, he, like I said, he would always also go around calling people scrubs, you piece of shit scrub, why you beating me and shit, and looking down on people who is so, like I already tackled on a little bit, him talking down to people, talking down to anybody of their race, gender, or sexual orientation playing the game or a game. He would always call certain guys who are probably potentially living in their mommy's basements and shit, cucks and bitches and the F word. Again, I'm not going to say to offend anybody who I am friends with of the LGBT, so I am going to try not to say that here. He would always go around saying those things because to make himself feel better. I just feel like, I think it's best that if he calls you, now here's the thing, of all the times I was bullied growing up, and especially being bullied on the internet, if someone wants to call you names or insult you in a certain way, just ignore them. That's my advice. Of all the times growing up, and it's same for anyone who may have been bullied by someone who may be a potential low tier god type person out there, or some guy who that's like LTG in real life. If the person is giving you a hard time, just ignore him. He has a really shitty attitude. I don't know what's going on in his personal life. I don't want to know nothing. But all I know is about his character, and it stinks. But I know for a fact the reason why LTG hasn't gotten far in life, and also think about his achieve, what he wanted to achieve. But after spending a decade throughout his 20s and 30s playing fighting games, I do recall LowTierGod wanted to be an actor in Hollywood. But if LTG is in California, okay, look, LowTierGod is in California. I'm here in Maryland as a YouTuber. Now, I'm 30 years old. One of these, I know that I'm potentially not going to be a Hollywood somebody myself one day. I pretty much already given up that dream. And least popular videos about my hobby on YouTube, probably likely for the rest of my life, including doing fan films of Power Rangers on my channel for the rest of my life, probably, and also my podcast. LowTierGod, I even recall sometime in some of his older streams in like 2019 or something, that he wished that he would be like, if Ray Fisher would not be Cyborg in the DCEU, even though with the restructuring with James Gunn recently. I feel as, LTG thinks would be a runner-up to play Cyborg in one of the DC movies one day. But sorry, Ray Fisher already beat you to that, boy, my guy. But at this rate, LowTierGod would never survive in Hollywood as an actor if he's in California. Because, of course, if you want to be a big actor, a producer, or any of that, yeah, you got to go to Hollywood. Can't do this stuff out here. Yeah, especially for someone who lives here in the East Coast making YouTube videos. But I just don't understand, what is it with LowTierGod thinking. And also another thing, what really gets on my nerves thinking about him also, which is not on this list, is every time he talks about himself. This is something that most entitled narcissistic people do. They think about talking about their good looks, quote unquote, and trying to impress the ladies. And but again, being an alpha male, just because you're alpha, you got all this muscle and you got money and all that, that doesn't make you an alpha male. Like, especially if you're an alpha male with a really shitty attitude. And look, I've been there, but I have never been a pro alpha. I'm just saying. I just don't like LowTierGod's demeanor of things, especially when he talks about his skin color, his peanut butter complexion, he calls it. What do you mean by peanut butter complexion of skin? I mean, look at my skin, especially in the light, but even though if I remove the light, I'm actually dark skinned, even on camera. But when really though, what peanut butter complexion of skin? Like, what does he mean by that? You saying some black people can look like a peanut butter skin color? I mean, that's just racist right there, what he just said. And I don't like that. I mean, and then he talks about how his face is more Giga Chad like compared to me looking like a ugly basement dwelling N-word and all that stuff. Because if LTG was on YouTube again and saw my video, after he saw the video, he would just give me a copyright strike. And, but again, I just hope that LTG does not come back to YouTube and keep his ass off YouTube forever. Of all the times I had some people back when I started my channel doing this fan film content of mine and thought back to my, I learned to stop being an egomaniac for a moment and think about, I apologize due to the interrupting of this portion of the video due to the camera battery going down. So I had to charge this up while I'm filming. Anyway, so back to what I was saying. Yeah, but again, LowTierGod, he has a really toxic presence on YouTube. And YouTube has finally became aware of his behavior, and I'm glad whoever reported him about his behavior on YouTube, I'm glad you got on him and got YouTube to get his channel deleted. But even though I feel like he shouldn't come back at all on the platform, given everything that I have stated within the last 25 minutes, I don't want him back on YouTube either. Even though it was fun while it lasted in the 2 years I watched this content, and I don't want this dude anywhere back on YouTube. If he does, and if he finds my video, and what I said in this video for those watching, and if you are not aware of LowTierGod and his toxic demeanors and his narcissistic ways of thinking and everything when it comes to him playing fighting games. I feel like it was for the best to have him removed from the platform as much as possible. I just hope also one day if we do come across any more any foreboding YouTubers that want to start a channel about video games, and if they want to start acting like LowTierGod, I just hope none of them better end up like this guy. And if he's like LowTierGod, he'll probably end up just like him, up there, and probably be up there as one of the most, vile and despised gamers on YouTube. It's best that if we have anybody, like I said, if we have that kind of behavior from any of those future foreboding game streamers like this on YouTube, they'll probably be up there up on top of that iceberg like LowTierGod or Wings of Redemption or DSP. And with LowTierGod, he was the one that got his ass banned for saying something. Whatever he said that was remarkable, I didn't catch on to that video and why he got banned. So I knew it was for the best he got banned, because even many of you who were, are already happy and blessed that as a Christmas present, that all you wanted for Christmas was LTG being banned. Also, one more thing before I close out this video. I wish I would do more about LowTierGod, but I feel like this is as far as I can go for a video on him. The mentally untouchable thing, you're not mentally untouchable. You're just like every other person with, like you think you're so invincible. You are so powerful than the rest of us. No, you're not. I know damn well I'm not powerful and better than people. So stop it. You may be Mr. Mentally Untouchable, but guess what? You have been touched. Mentally touched with, I know I'm messing up a little bit, but forgive me. You've been touched with your channel being deleted, and you, my friend, you get that ass banned. And that's all I have to say. You got your ass banned. Stings, doesn't it? Karma got to you. All the times you ban people, you got banned. Calling us scrubs and peons and cucks and all of that. You suck.